Host disabled participant screen sharing man good. Dili pa ko ka-share for a while ha. Because it has been said here, host disabled participant screen sharing.
Yan.
Okay, so pwede na ko. Okay, maklaro na? Have you seen my slides already?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so my topic for this morning is teenage pregnancy, the cause and effect. So, it's still related to the topic or to the title that our activity for this morning. So, familiar kayo mo sa picture, di ba? So these are just some of the pictures about our topic for today. Anyway, just send me a message or buzz me up if wala gid mo'y nadunggan. Okay? Pwede ra gid mo interrupt sa ako if wala na gid mo'y nadunggan nga tingog nako. But as of now, am I still audible? Am I still loud and clear with to you
Yes, you
guys?
are, ma'am.
Okay, so thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So what have you observed on the picture? Any comments? So obviously, these are the pictures of a teenage mother or a teenage mom. Pero napay mo uban nga, wata ka balo may ala din yung kuan nigsuon. Anyway, it's your free will. So, I'll be giving you the democracy to think with what the picture is. But since our topic is all about teenage pregnancy, so these are the sample of the pictures of teenage pregnancy. As you can see, na ay picture of these two ladies. So sa ato mong mindset when it comes to when we hear the word teenage pregnancy, feeling mong nato Paras Philippines ang pinakadaghan og kaso about teenage pregnancy because on the other country na magud sila kaugalingong balaod nga one family one child, especially sa China, ana bitaw. So wala lang ta nakabalo nga aside from the Philippines, there are other countries who are being on top about the issue of teenage pregnancy. So mo nang akong siya gi-appeal kay dili lang kay ang Pinoy or dili lang ang Pilipinas have been this kind of issue about teenage pregnancy. So there are others who are there are other country who are also suffering or are also having been this issue about teenage pregnancy. Medyo nihilom-hilom lang ni siya karon because of the very famous issue right now that we are facing, which is the pandemic. So, medyo nawala ang other issues like drugs, crimes, abortion. Medyo nawala tanan because nasapawan gid siya sa ni-eksena gis COVID. Ayan na, di kabali ba? So, manay nitabo. The reason why I've been including this kind of picture because not just in the Philippines, but this teenage pregnancy is all over. It's global already with this problem. Hindi na mo move akong slides. Diba? Now, we are going to have our objectives on this program for today's activity. So the first objective is we were going to talk about the global and the Philippine burden. So I told you a while ago na dili lang kay sa Pilipinas ni nga problema, but also globally. Second, what are the causes including its social determinants? Like unsay dahilan o unsay nakapa trigger nganong na ay nganong ni taas ang kaso sa teenage pregnancy. And then what are the effects and complications? So when we are now knowing the cause, kung unsay cause, unsa po effect nga makuha with this kind of problem. The fourth is practices in preventing teenage pregnancy. And fifth, moving forward. If mao manggani, na manggali ni nga issue, how are we going to move forward despite of what happened, despite of this obstacle, despite of this problem, despite of these hindrances that could affect our future? So, in global statistics, approximately there are 12 million girls nga nag-edad 15 years old to 19 years old, and at least 777,000 girls under 15 years give birth each year in developing regions, in developing regions. So, grabe no? There are 12 million girls nga nag-edad og 15 hangtod 19, and about 777,000 below 15 years old give birth each year. So, ing ana kataas or ing ana ka massive ang increasing sa population all over the world. And then at least 10 million unintended pregnancy or unwanted pregnancy, wala tuyo which occur each year among adolescents who are aging 15 to 19 years in the developing world. When we say unintended, wala na tuyo, sa bugso ng damdamin. Okay? Unwanted pregnancy. And then the third, there are complications during pregnancy and childbirth that are leading or were causing of death aging 15 to 19 years old girls globally. Girls gina siya kay babae ra may mga anak, lain pong lalaki ang mga anak. So ingana siya. Kasi ingani nga mga uyab, ay mga ingani nga mga edad, I'm sorry. Medyo complicated ang pagburos, na pagali complications ang higher years unsa pa kaning ing ani nga mga idara nga mao pag-develop sa sa ilang reproductive um, system. And then of the estimated 5.6 million abortions that occur each year among adolescent girls aged 15 to 19 years old, 3.9 million are unsafe, contributing to maternal mortality. When we say maternal mortality, namatay during pagpanganak, morbidity, and lasting health problems. So, again, there are this kind of issues nga naagi hapon si abortion, which leading to 5.6 million occur each year. Kana bang dili pa sila ready, nahadlok sa kung unsay mahitabo pag mabalaan, wala kabalo kung unsay buhaton, ang discriminations ana. So dili kayo fix ang ilang mind mo nang mo santop sila ani nga huna-huna nga ay ipa-abort na lang nako mo ni mo na. But again, this is not very advisable in every people, because always remember, you don't have the right to kill somebody's lives. Hinulaman ra na itong kinabuhi. So, wate katungod nga kitay mukuha sa atong kaugalingong kinabuhi or sa kinabuhi sa ilang tao, sa laing tao. Ang nagpahulam ra nato mo ginay angayan nga mukuha ra pud balik sa iyang gipahulam nga life. And are you still with me? Am I still audible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Very
ma'am.
good. Thank you. Again, and then the last is adolescent mothers. Adolescent mothers aging 10 to 19 years old face higher risk of eclampsia. When we say eclampsia, kana ng taas na siya blood, correct me if I'm wrong kung natay kanang school nurse dire. Pero sa kung pagsabot sa eclampsia, kana ng high blood na siya during sa tama ba ko ka ako ma'am or sa baka high blood siya during sa pagpanganak niya or yung taas yung pressures pag kanang hapit na siya manganak na siya. And very very risky kay na siya. Murag sa babae ang pinaka-risky gyud is ang pagpanganak. Sakit atong monthly period pero napagi mas worse na sakit daw is ang kanang pag-labor nato, ang kaning pagpanganak. And afterwards, it's very rewarding. However, it's very risky. And puerperal endometritis and systemic infections than women aged 20 to 24 years old. So mostly ang aging 10 to 19 years old ang mas nakapa mas grabe ani nga mga issues. Here now we are talking about the global statistics. Now we are now on the Philippine statistics. As you can see, na-flag sa Pilipinas. So one of the highest teen pregnancy rates in the world, ang Pilipinas. So na pasok sa banga ang Pinoy when it comes to this kind of problem, which is the teenage pregnancy, which is every hour kada oras ha, there are 24 babies are born coming from teenage mothers. So every hour na 24. And how many hours do we have in one day? 24 hours. 24 times 24. Ing ana ang nahimugso sa kalibutan. So ing ana ka massive ang pagtaas sa population sa Pilipinas. Teenage mother pa lang na ha. Wala pa labot adtong katong on the right age na already nga nang giving birth. So see, medyo alarming jud kaayo ang kuan, and it's what why do I say so? It's very alarming because still teens. For sure there are still other kanang napagi wala pa na baluan nila kung unsaon pag how are they going to raise their child, unsay buhaton nila, yan na mga kung sa layman's term pa mga wala pa'y buot ba ngayong ana anya, they are already facing this kind of very big responsibility already. And the very big responsibility is to become a mother, being a mother, which is very important also in molding a person. Di na mo move. Okay. Next, also, 19% young adults nga nag-edad to 18 to 24 years old initiated their sexual activity before age of 18. So alarming na kaayo, especially now nga kana bang they are into engaging already into premarital sex. Kana. So that's the reason why also nga nahitabo nga na-issue nga teenage pregnancy because of the premarital sex. Now, this is the percentage. In the background characteristics in the Philippines, aging 15 until to 24 have had a live birth, 1.0 percentage. Pregnant with their first child, nag-edad og 15, 0.6 percentage who have begun childbearing, 1.6. So at the early age of 15 ha, na-offend ko nga 32 na ko karon pero ko'y anak bako na minyo siya. So ana, these are the statistics of the age basing on the age bracket from 15 to 24. So medyo pinakadaghan na diri ta dapita from aging 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So medyo daghan-daghan. Ana, kiba ni. And on by regions. Let's start with the National Capital Region or the NCR, dito sa Manila. The CAR or the Cordillera Administrative Region. We have Region 1 until 13. We have here in Caraga, so dito mag-focus sa Caraga. Si Caraga, na mamayagpag, di ba? Nag-32 ta. So these have had a live birth pak ganern kay si Caraga, okay, it's 32.8. And then we have 37.6 percent who have begun childbearing. Grabe kadako kaayo. So what happens in Caraga? There was one time also when the statistics coming from the Commission on Population na there was one time nga si Karagagi namamayagpag when it comes to teenage pregnancy. What happened kaha nganong naingana. So later we're going to look at to know on what's the reason behind unsay cause, unsay effect also pod nganong naaning teenage pregnancy, nganong nabuhat ni sa uban. So now, so these are the causes and effects of teenage pregnancy. So let's start first with the cause. First, lack of information about sexual and reproductive health and rights. So mo na gyud ay pinaka una, wala gi walay information about sexual and reproductive health, unsa ang family planning, unsa ang reproductive health issues, unsa ang um, sexual education. Kay when it comes to ingana man da good kay ang atong gunguna-huna when it comes to from hearing the word sex kay moingon nita yak ana din ta kay bag ew ana bastos man ka. No, no, we are now living in this democratic world, we are now living in this um grabe ka grabe ka liberated na the Philippines also considered as one of the liberated country na we need to know about sexual and reproductive health. Kay mo man ni dahilan nga mag-anam-anam o kadako ang population sa Pilipinas. Daghan kayong tao pero ang opportunity to live, ang opportunity to get wealth, to be wealthy, nga madato or mukita is very low. Kay ang tao nag-anam mo kadaghan. So we need to know more about sexual and reproductive health and rights. Second, inadequate access to services tailored to young people. Like this. So it is very important to conduct, and then I'm very thankful on behalf of from the bottom of my heart. I'd like to say thank you for this event, for having me here for this institution. I'd like to say thank you to your school na nag-conduct mo iging ani nga awareness, prevention and awareness for you to know, because we are now living in this kind of world nga grabe na kaayo kadelikado ang kalibutan with the several happenings that we've experienced already. Not just this, the pandemic lang, which creates already a big impact in our personality. Dako na kaayo siya og kanang uh, affect effect sa ato. So having this kind of program is very important, wherein we have access to services for you young people. And what are those services? Awareness, kanang ma-divert inyong attention into this kind nga makasulod mo ging ani nga problema. And very important is musulod mo sa usa ka activity nga it could give you more knowledge, more wisdom, and more opportunity to live with your future, to reach with your goals, to attain your future, to attain your goals. Ano siya. And then the third, family, community, and social pressure to marry. So mo na usa sa causes of teenage pregnancy. Kana bitong ipugos ka og paminyo sa imong mga ginikanan kay ay usa nas dahilan kay ang means of living ninyo medyo ah, kanang lisod-lisod yun, naglisod yun ang panahon. So, ireto-reto na lang ka, ana bitaw. And then, sexual violence. So, when we say sexual violence, kanang rape, sexual harassment, and any other violence related to sex. That's the cause of teenage pregnancy. Next is child early forced. So this is what I've said a while ago. Child early forced marriage, which can be both a cause and a consequence. It could be also a consequence nga nung sayo na minyo. So, later on ma-reflect na to sa effects kung unsa ang mga consequences also nga nga kanang sayo maminyo. So there will be times na sayo maminyo at the end of the in the long run na anay pagbasol nga nung abot man ko ani nga point uy sayo kay ko naminyo wala na ko nabuhat ang akong gusto na buhaton naundang kog eskwela wa ko ni aging mga ingana mga enjoyment sayo kay ko nga sayo kay ko na tiguwang sayo kay ko nga kanang imbis kay magluling hayaw ko karon imbis kay mag me time ko karon have my time for myself but now I'm now in a full-time mother taking care of my child kani anak mo na usas mga consequences that is just a few of many consequences and then lack of education so wala nakabalo so it's very important to know to be educated. And that's the reason why naataan ni karon. You are still present. By the way, I would like to congratulate you also for surviving amidst this pandemic. You chose to study, you chose to continue your studies despite of the very big challenges. But for those who haven't or have stopped their studies, their still congratulations to them because that's their choice nga para at least ipahuway nila ilang huna-huna. So with this, kinahanglan gyud mo og proper education about teenage pregnancy. And the effects. So the effects now is of course, it's increasing cases of early pregnancy. So mo na cause sa teenage pregnancy. Second, newborn death. Again, ngano na may newborn death ma'am because I've said a while ago, risky sa kanang maing anak nga mga edad ang pagpanganak risky kaayo nga mga anak ang health sa usa ka mama and giving birth so na tendency nga kanang madisgrasya ang bata or na pa lang sa tiyan na disgrasya na ang bata kay mismo ang nagdala ang inahan nga nagdala wala kaayo siya na educate wala kayo tarong nga walay proper gyud nga taking care of themselves mo nang naing ana. And then, third, dropping out of school. This is now the effects. Mag-drop out mo ka sa school. Kay, nabudos naman ka. Diba? So, you need to stop with your studies. If kanang dili na jud sa pwede, kinahanglan na ka mo stop. Kailangan maglisod naman ka. Labi naghapit na ka mga anak. Sud pa day kag klase nga dako na imong tiyan 7 months na imong tiyan 7 months na imong tiyan 8 months hangtod sa kanang kapanganakan na gid nimo. So another effect, it's one of the problems also in school. And then, maternal death. O, di ba? Mamatay. So that's what I've said a while ago. Sa pagpanganak, very, very delicate. Grabe ka delikado. Manay pinaka buwis buhay. Kibali. So sa kamama. Health complications. Whether sa mama or sa bata, pagawas. What are the, nganong na ay health complications? Kawata kabalo, when the mother is still when the child is still on the womb of the mother is taking vices, not taking care of herself, wala na guna-huna nga duha na sila mukaon, duha na sila nga iyang ampingan. So there will be complications paggawas anak sa bata and that's the reason why there are some abnormalities na hormonal imbalances. Diba? May makita nga okay dili siya normal sa tao dili siya pareha sa ubang newborn baby nga kompleto tanan okay ang organs niya ing ana and then increased family expenses. It's very true kay naa naman po additional member of the family so additional expenses. So what are those? Gatas, diaper, vitamins, damit, and other nga mga needs pa. And it took it very long ang expenses when it comes to a newborn. Labi ng gatas, diaper, mo ginay pinaka challenging kaayo nga medyo additional expenses. And what are the factors? Unsay factors nganong na teenage pregnancy? Nganong nahitabo ngayong ani? So first, peer pressure, 'di ba? Drug and substance abuse leading to compromised decisions. So peer pressure, gi-pressure sa i-pressure sa mga barkada, huy, labi na kay mga butang tag. For example, mga lalaki, katuwaan sa mga lalaki nga, be, stay tabi ngay ana be. Kanang stay ta bra, ngay ana part makuha na nako siya in 1 day, in 2 days, or in 3 days, nga. Or gi-pressure ka nga, challenge ta ka kung makuha ba na nimo siya nga babae in just in the span of 1 day or in the span of 2 days, yan na. Or drug and substance abuse leading to compromised decisions. So, very important ang peers ninyo, ang inyong mga friends. But always remember also, your peers could also be one of the factors, be one of the causes nga nung mo engage mo into such problem. So better choose the right peers, choose the right friends who are good influence and not to become your to be part of the bad influences. It is very important to be educated about this, about sexual in teenage pregnancy and about drugs kay nara diri nagtuyok mo ra gyud ni nagtuyok ra gyud ni siya nga issue nganong mo come up ta ani nga problem. Another, irresponsible sexual behavior that frequently occurs in youth who don't have basic information about sex and contraception. So, manay factors. Nang wala kabalo, unsa ng contraceptive pills, unsa ng contraceptions, unsa ng sex education, na mga ingana. So, kanang wala kaayo sila ingana bitaw kay ang ilang mangkong ang ilang routine silang pang-adlaw-adlaw nga gimbuhaton is wala na focus ana ang ila lang is barkada, ila lang kalipay, unya na nang kasakit, unya na bahala na si Batman. As long as they are contented on that day, masatisfy nila ang ilang needs on that day without thinking, without weighing kung unsay advantages, kung unsay disadvantages of every decisions that they are going to make. And I personally, I could attest and I regret it already nga kanang mag-decide bitaw ko og paura-urada without weighing it, without seeing the big picture on it kung unsa kay pwede mahitabo if ever ako ning buhaton, or unsa kay pwede nako makuha if ever ako ning buhaton, or unsay pwede nako ma-miss if ever dili nako ni buhaton. So yana ba, it is still important to weigh things out before making decisions. And it's very important to seek guidance and to ask guidance of those people nga mas nakabalo o mas naay idea o mas naay experience para smooth ang dagan kibali sa inyong pangadlaw-adlaw nga pagabuhaton. Third, early marriage and childbearing among adolescent females. So manay factors also. Lang sayo maminyo. Kay feeling nila siya mo na ginang forever gid nila nga uyab. Murag wa na gid diha na gid daw nagtuyok ilang kinabuhi. Ay anak kibali. Another factor is problems in parent-child relationship. Okay, there is example ni parent-child relationship kana bitong dili kayo close sa ginikanan, dili kay close ilang pamilya, dili kayo hilig mo open sa ilang family, which is still normal. Normal lagi na siya kay nagi tao nga dili kayo comfortable nga mo open sa ilang problems or sa ilang ideas or sa ilang side to their family, and they're more comfortable with their friends, their peers, their boyfriends, their girlfriends. So mas na maging anak kay marabag nakakita sila assurance nga okay, secure ko diri, dili ko i-judge diri, dili ko diri kasab-an. Kita man gud mapangunahan man gud dayon tag when it comes to we're planning to say something about ourselves or our problems to our family or to our parents. Ang atong hunahon na pangunahan natin kasabuan ko sa kong ginikanan, bitayon ako sa kong papa, ipalayason ako sa kong mama. So mo nay usa sa musantop sa hunahuna sa ubang tao mo nang dili kay sila open, dili kay sila gusto nga mo storya about that. And rather they tell it to their friends, tell it to their barkadas, tell it to their boyfriends or girlfriends. Poverty, kapobrihon, one factors also, and material deprivation that may push young people into survival, sex in exchange for money and food. Kaning kapobrihon o kaning material deprivation. When we say material deprivation, na-deprive ka sa mga butang nga gusto nimo ani nga dapat gusto man ko ana oy pero wala gyud kwarta. I really want like that. I really wanted to have like this. Gusto ko ana nga cellphone, gusto ko ana nga gadget, gusto ko maka-experience ug ani nga laag. But how could I do that wherein I don't have any money at all? 'Di ba? Because dili kayo ta ingon ing ana ka, dili kayo ingon ana ka dako atong income. So, that's the reason why young people pushed into survive to in order them to survive is in exchange for money and food is through sex or ibaligya nila ilang kaugalingon. And there it is a very rampant. Nahimo siyang good kanang nahimo siyang survival for those others nga mo continue sa ilang education. Just for them to continue their education, ibenta nila ilang kaugalingon for in exchange for money to pay their tuition fees, to pay their financial obligations in school, financial obligations in family, and in order to survive. That is one of the factors nga nung na ay teenage pregnancy. Did you get me? Are you still following with me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. And the next is exposure to suggestive or explicit media, films, magazines, music that may influence adolescent to sexual behavior, causing them to engage into sexual activity before they are ready. So kanang mga in high technology, we are now living in the 21st century wherein we are engaging into technologies. And ang atong yung kalibutan karon is nagtuyok na lang gid aning high technology, online, tanan, klase, trabaho, pagpamaligya, earning income is through online. So it's still very helpful with this kind of platform, with this media. However, napod siya side effect, napod siya disadvantages. So, films, magazines, and musics that could trigger to an adolescent engaging into sexual behaviors. Pornography, tanaw og mga videos, tanaw og mga send me message, I'll comment, ganern kay magpapasa na dayon og anak nga mga video. So, causing them to engage into sexual activity before they are ready. And then the last, what would you think be the last? The last is failure to comply with religious principles and commandments prescribed by religious ethics. So, again, it is still very important to know and to engage into the religious principles. Pinay pinaka-importante karon nga paghugutan nato, mas maayo nga istoryahon ang tuas babaw even if dili siya motubag, but the person up above is na siya kaugalingong ways and means nga motubag sa kung unsay gipangayo nato in a miraculous and in a mysterious way. Wala lang takabalo nga kuyawa oy grabe ka amazing ang tubag sa Ginoo sa akong hangi o sa akong sa akong sa akong pagampo, um ingani ka lawak ang tubag kibali, di ba? And then know the Ten Commandments. Mo ginay pinaka importante gyud. Grabe gid kayo ka importante. If we know more about the religious principles, So the next is teenage pregnancy behavioral causes. What are the behavioral causes? Engagement in unprotected sex. So manay cause. Engagement in sex with multiple partners. Daghan. And transactional or commercial sex. So when we say transactional or commercial sex, kanang bayaran, gibaligya. 150 lang. Or di ba? Adili mo 150 karon. Barato ka na 150 siguro sa ing ani nga mga kuan. So mga dinagko na kibali. Engagement and protected sex without using condoms, without any using protections. Mo na siya. So the health risk for being a teenage or a pregnant teenagers. So the first is
I-screenshot ko naman itong na.
okay. Madunggan pa ko.
Lagyan mo sa live.
Na ay nag-on nga microphone. Okay. Okay. So premature birth. So man ay health risk for pregnant teenagers. Premature birth. When I say premature, 'di ba, ang normal is magawas is 9 months pero si baby ni gawas by 7 months. So that's the reason why of premature birth. Babies born with a lower birth weight, 'di ba? Underweight kibali nga pagkaanak. And then problems with breastfeeding. Na uban mama, na uban teenage mom nga dili kayo ka-produce og milk coming from their own. And it is very important that babies, newborn babies until aging up to pila na edad nga kinahanglan mas maayo nga breastfeeding. And then anemia or low iron levels during pregnancy. So mo ni paras mama. Ana. High blood pressure. Kung health risk for being a pregnant teenagers. Emotional and mental health problems. Diri manggawas ang emotional problems. Grabe ka sensitive ang usa ka buros or usa ka babae nga maburos. Gamay kiyaw, gamay na kon hilak diri, hilak dito. And pag panganak pod napod tay gitawag nga unsay tawag aning usa sa kanang mahitabo nga kaso sa usa ka mama nga leads into mental health problems. Di ba? And then substance misuse. Dili mao nga paggamit sa usa ka like pills, naggamit og pang pills, kung sa man lagi pang gamit, nagkuano pang abort. So that's the risk. I'll give you an idea. I'll share it with you. I have one classmate or one batchmate in college nga she died, namatay siya because na-poison siya kay she was 4 months pregnant, upat ka buwan ng iyang anak, sa iyang tiyan. And then at that time, by the time nga nakabalo siya nga buros dai siya, she was not ready. I mean, dili daw niya ready. Siguro nalipay siya, but ang nakapa-trigger niya nga murag ni come up siya nga ipa-abort niya ang bata is because iyang family kay they are not Catholic, they are on the other religion which is very kaayo ka sensitive ug nga mga butang nung nag-una-una kag paburos nga mo ni mao na pa ka nakasal. And then ang lalaki is Catholic, so dili siya ingon babag or baga tutol ang ginikanan. Actually ang mama raman tutol ang mama nga nakauyab siya og dili pareha nila og relihiyon. So man mo abot na sa point ka nagrebelde na siya, muuli nga mugawas silang balay nga nagsayal kay naingana ang ingana ilang religion magsayal pero magdala siya skinny jeans. Mag-change siya og jeans sa CR diri sa eskwelahan. So while she's in school, she's wearing pants. But by the time nga muuli na siya, she's going to change the outfit, magsayal, so pa uli sa ilang balay. So ingana niabot na siya sa point ka ingana until such time nga grabe na kay na siya ka desperate nga iyag yung ipakuha And the most important thing, walay nakatambag sa iya kay murag naa siya'y nagisundan ba nga si ate man gali gisayon-sayon ra niya nga mag-abort mo ni mauna. Basig kag i-try ka nako nga ako no kaya siguro na nako. Or yan na balay ba na siya nailhan bitaw nga laing tao nga murag gilibang ra niya magpa-abort. Yan na ra kasayon ba. So munay nahitabo. So nangita siya pamaagi, nangita siya mangumutay, asa na lang siya paingon. Tapos until such time nga namatay na tong nangumutay, niino na siya gitake nga tambal nga nagtuo siya nga kanang ma-abort niya ang bata. So when she took that kind of medicine, nag-bleed siya. As in, nag-bleeding siya. And then kami, nga mga classmates niya, for how many months nga wala siya ni eskwela, for 1 month, 1 to 2 months nga wala siya ni eskwela, natingami, or nanami pagtuo nga, okay, bro siguro to siya, kay mo ni mauna. And we're very, kana bang confident rapod kayo, may kay, kanang, naabitaw siya, kanang, uyab niya, grabe ka balo, kailami sa iyang uyab nga, grabe ka supportive, kanang grabe ka kanang protective kayo sa iyang uyab ay ana ba so confident ra kay mi sa okay na until such time nga nibalik siya eskwela okay so wala dai sayop dai mi sa among hinala and then we saw her bag nga nay napkin ana so okay so dili gid siya wala dili gid siya burus kay naman siya so nagdan siya monthly period only to find out she's wearing napkin because she's bleeding already. And walay idea at all nga napunita na dayo sa or naunsa na dayo itong bata dito. So, padayon na gyapon siya eskwela. Nagpadayon siya eskwela. Until such time there was one day, nasakit na kuno kaay iyang tiyan. And to make the long story short, nakoma siya. And she died after how many hours of being coma? Because na-poison man siya. Kaya namatay naman ang bata sulod sa iyang tiyan for 4 months na good. So, almost 4 months. So, na-poison siya. And then she died. So, and to take note ha, 1 month na lang ay mi mo graduate mo paso midres SJIT namatay siya. So March mi mo paso, February siya namatay. So it's very hurtful for us, especially to the boyfriend. Ganun na siya kang boyfriend. Tanong gibuhat man to nimo nga I was thinking she was giving money, she was giving fruits and all para lang ma-healthy siya but wag ito niya gihilabtan kay murag dili niya gusto idamay ang iyang uyab sa iyang gibuhat ing ana all she needs is kana bang ma-free siya adto nga problema kay di siya gusto nga unsay mastorya sa ginikanan niya unsay mastorya sa paryente so man ana so there is a substance misuse also. So this is the socioeconomic deprivation, both a cause and a consequence of adolescence pregnancy. So mo ni siya. What is the cause? Money cause. Loss of educational employment opportunities. So mawala na siya nga opportunity kay kuan man kana mang naburos man ka. So if wala kay trabaho or ka mag-eskwela, di ka magtrabaho. So it leads to poverty. And then it leads to teenage pregnancy. Nagtuyok na siya. From teenage pregnancy, teenage pregnancy, wala nakahuman og eskwela, lose the opportunity to be employed, and poverty. So, mo na siya socioeconomic deprivation. That we need also to stop. That we need also to prevent also. Para dili ta mo mahahawa ta ani nga cycle. Excuse me. Mahawa ta ani nga cycle. So what are the preventive practices? Unsay pwede nato buhaton? First, personal values about sex and abstinence. When we say abstinence, iwas ta sa sex. Do something else that could somehow deprive your attention on that. Like more busy with your future, thinking of your goals, thinking of your mga pangarap and all. But if you have your girlfriend, if you do have your relationship right now, make them as an inspiration. Di ba? pwede ra man gyud mabuhi ra man gyud mo og kanang asa ra man na pohon-pohon kung kamo gyud ang gitugyan sa panahon o gitagnas mga tagnas manulunda nga magdayon gyud mo, it would be better if not doing this premarital sex, diba? Second, perception of peer norms and sexual behavior. So, ano siya? Third, knowledge of sexual issues such as HIV or human immunodeficiency virus and other STDs and pregnancy, including methods of prevention. So you need to know more about this. You can do it that like that without having this kind of seminar. You can do your own research. You can do your own internet kanang browsing kung unsa gid di sabot pasabot because at your age right now you need to know it already for you to build your own future kay pag kana maguba because of one mistake of being on this problem, it's mag domino effect na siya, di ba? Kita mo anang domino nga if matumba madamay ang tanan. So you'd bet it would be better nga you need to know more, you need to be knowledgeable enough on the things that you wanted to kung kanang gusto ninyo sudlan nga kuan. Next is perception of HIV risks. Unsay mga risk having this kind of HIV or having HIV kay grabe ka delikado if namoy HIV. And to think ha, ang HIV ra ba kay dili na siya mawala. Non-curable, nalay maka-prevent, nalay tay buhaton nga ma-prevent siya nga mura ganang mulala siya but di na siya ingon nga mawala. So mo na pinaka-importante. And attitudes towards condom and individual ability to refuse sex and to use condoms. So, let's broaden our mind nga dili siya kadiri or dili iya when you are having this kind of contraceptives. It is the safest way also of having sex when you are going to use condoms. So mo na pinaka kuan kanang pinaka safe gyud nga wala gyud problema gyud punon nga mahitabo. So do not limit yourselves on sexual education. Palawaki inyong hunahuna. Be open-minded when it comes to having this because this is a serious problem that you need also to be mindful and that you need to uh, be educated with this kind of issues. And then when it comes to preventive practices, sexuality education aims to make young people like and respect themselves. It is very important to love yourself, respect yourself, and not to nang dili ninyo ibutang sa alanganin ang inyong kaugalingon. Help learners see sexuality as a natural and positive part of life. We need to teach also skills to make informed and responsible decisions. So that's how we are your guidance counselors, your school administrators is making this kind of program for you to be knowledgeable and for you to be informed about your responsibility of these issues and to make better and good decisions about this issue. Explore different values and attitudes. So that's the aim of being informed about sexual education or sexual education. It also aims to intend to abstain from sex or iwas or limit number of partners. So bisan pag gwapo kay tas pananaw sa ubang tao dili gid pwede or dili gid siya maayo nga natay multiple partner kay di gid na nato ikagwapo nang dagantag uyab or dagantay partner ikapangit pag ginuna nato. Always remember that one. Makabati na og maka maka makapangit na og reputation kumbaga sa usa ka kuan tao. Communication with parents or other adults about sex, condoms, and contraception. Individuals' ability to avoid HIV and STD risk and risk behaviors. Ano siya? Avoidance of places and situations that might lead to sex. So, ano? So when you know about sex education, kabalo mo sa kung unsay mga lugar, kung unsay mga situation nga mosantop mo ani nga nga activity. And then intend to use a condom. So that's the reason why the Department of Health and then the Commission on Population are kumbaga eager to give you knowledge about using condoms. So it's still very important to use this kind of contraceptive. So what are the the interventions? Teenage pregnancy in school. So in school, in public schools, but not just in public schools, but in private schools, according to DepEd Secretary Leonor Briones, here's in public schools mo iyang gipunteriya. It may be a policy to kick out students, but there are schools which automatically kick out children who got pregnant and automatically also destroy their lives. And this is where the enrichment comes in. You have a right to go back to school and you have the right to be treated humanly. And that's the reason why nga if we commit teenage pregnancy, it doesn't mean also nga dead end na mo. Kumbaga, wala na ilaing kapadulungan. No. Naan naman na siya. So, we need to accept it also. So, after giving birth, after ma-plaster, you can go back to school and walay laing tao nga just let the other people judge you. Right? Or you're not entitled to explain it to them what happened to you. As long as wala kay gitapakan nga laing tao. So that's the most important. So there is, and that's the reason why present a guidance counselor because there is counseling in school. The Department of Education or the Commission on Higher Education prohibiting the penalizing of students in public schools because of pregnancy. Thus, the school should have a designated guidance counselor. So, unsa may buhaton ni guidance counselor? I personally, who are in the field of guidance and counseling, we are here to help for those people or for those young people who have problems if we're facing this kind of problem, to do our best to understand and to respond to the needs and the problems of the young people or the young ones. We are free to communicate without hesitations. So I will just also clear out on your minds or ako sang papaon ang inyong misconception about guidance and counseling. Kay sure ko, when you hear the word guidance and counseling, ang inyo manggong pagsabot is disciplinarian, kasaban, husgahan, di ba? Correct me if, di ba, sakto ba ko? Kanang mahalok mo musulod og guidance office, kay di ko dito, ipa-guidance pa lang ko nimo, mo na. But, no, in guidance and counseling, we are here to listen. We are here to give you some ideas on how on what to do. But at the end of the day, imo gihapong desisyon ang masunod. We are just here to guide you or to give you up some ideas kung unsay pwede pa, lain pang pwede dapat buhaton. So not we are not disciplinarian. In times na times nga moabot mi sa point nga ana. But mostly we're here to guide you. We're here to give you the other side of the coin, the bigger picture also on sa kung unsa pay pwede nimo buhaton. And not to kana bang magpadalos-dalos og decide. So however, we would not let we will not let you also for we will not force you also to say something. Kay it's a big no-no sa guidance and counseling nga mamugos ba storya na ba kasi nakababuros nimo storya na ba nganong ingana ka nganong no dili mi pwede mo ingana. We will just wait for the student to talk, for the student to feel comfortable nga makiistorya sa amo, and also rest assured that confidentiality is present. nga we will not going to share the information to anyone else, even to their parents pa or to their loved ones pa, as long as and or unless they give us the permission nga istorya sa ubang tao. And that's the time nga pwede namo siya istorya sa uban. But again, with the consent of the person nga katong na problema. So that's now the intervention of in counseling sa school. We also have kanang reproductive health questions. We also have promote the proper prenatal care. So kung moabot manggali sa punto nga ni engage na gid aning teenage pregnancy, so our duties and functions also in school and in guidance and counseling is to promote the proper prenatal care. So what are those prenatal care? Seek prenatal care, daily check-up, check your health, get tested for STD kay basig ang katong imong gika pakighilawas nga laing tao is naa to siya apan, di ba? Eat healthy diet, stay physically active, gain weight gain weight wisely, avoid risky substances. So mana siya pwede namo mahatag or pwede namo mastorya sa kanang mga tao nga naaani nga problema. And usa pud sa dahilan nganong ang ang effect ani is ang bata dili dayon mo storya or mahadlok or naunsa because there are issues for the parents. One, parents may be experience ma-shock sila nganong nahitabo na sa ilang anak, ma-disappoint sila kay grabe kay sila pangandoy sa ilang anak, taas kay sila pangandoy sa ilang anak, unya murag ni kalit og kahagba, ni kalit og dako kay kusog kayong buto kay mo na nahitabo marabag nahugno ang ilang kalibutan kay imbis kay mo na lang ning anak kanako nga mo'y mutaguyod sa akong pamilya maun siya may pakadali kay naburos manimaw na. And that's still normal. It's very normal because they're your parents and they they are caring for you. They're very concerned about you. Anxiety naning manervyos-nervyos gamay kay unsa kay mahitabo no puhon-puhon mahimo nang inahan akong anak, nakaburos akong anak, mawad anak kong pangandoy, ana. Anger, kana normal nga masuko. Normal lagi na siya masuko. Swerte na lang gid nang makaginikanan ta bitaw kana bitaw okay. Saon ta man naa naman na. Kana bitaw ing ana pero nagiuban ginikanan nga kulang lang yun itakwil ka, ibitay ka. So normal na siya kay again ang disappointment naa didto na present na siya dito kay they're aiming for very high for the sake of own good of their sons and daughters. Nawala ang pangandoy nila, disappointed of not telling them right away. Mas sakit pod para sa usa ka ginikanan nga wala dayon sila nakabalo sa kung unsay nahitabo sa ilang anak niya. Didto pagit sila sa laing tawo nakabalo nga buros day akong anak, may pa day akong may pa amo sila nga nakabalo ako nga ginikanan wala ko kabalo. So ing anak, that's one of many parents issues nga could lead somehow to the student or to the teens nga mahadlok na lang kay gipangunahan lagi sila kahadlok mo na itong mauti akong giingon sa inyong kagaina nga napangunahan ta kahadlok nga maybe basig dili ta dawaton sa tong ginikanan itakwil ta sa tong ginikanan mahadlok ta makasabaan mahadlok ta i-judge but I'm telling you at the end of the day your family mo ora gyud imong dangpanan wa nagilain makatabang sa imo biyaan kas tanan nimong mga amigo tanan nimong barkada but your family will not turn back on you. Always remember that one. And then they're concerned about their friends, about their families. Unang masuko sila, unsa na lay masulti sa tong ginikana sa akong paryente, unsa na lay masulti ang akong mga amigo, mga maiga nga gipasigarbo ta ka nya ang ending dai mo unsa mi kay mo ni mauna. So that is very normal. So I will not end this. I will not hold you too long, but I hope I could share something with you guys. How important to weigh first yourselves kanang dili magpadalos-dalos og desisyon. If you have some friends, it is very good to have friends kay mas okay, mas importante pud karon nga natay amigo, nga natay ka-sharean sa uban natong problema, natay ka storya-storya, labi na karon ha nga naaramos balay, unlike before bitaw nga pwede ra nato set aside atong problema sa balay kay maka adto tag laing lugar, makasulod tag eskwelahan, makastorya nato atong mga classmates, lahi ra maging group chat, lahi ra maging kanang webinar kanang mga video call right ra maginang kanang physical gid nga nagkita mo kay ang presence gid niya mas nindot gid kaayo, but choose the right people whom you can trust, choose the right person whom you can lean on, choose the right boyfriend, choose the right relationship. But again, there's no perfect relationship, but make it sure nga somehow dili mo mosantop sa usa ka dako nga problema nga pwede ra gid ninyo basulan in the end and ma-postpone kadali ang inyong pangarap, ang inyong pangandoy. So with the informations that I gave you, better to know more about sexual education, better to know more about HIV, better to know more about STD. Unsa day ni siya? Unsa kay pwede na mahitabo no if ever magpataka akong pataka akong sugalhab, kinsa lang nga tao akong duulon, kinsa lang nga tao akong pwede kuanan, akong pwede ma ma sa tawag ani maagian, di ba? So it's very important to be educated, to learn, and dili ta pwede magpakabarka bahala. Na bahala na na as long as okay na ko. No, no. Ayaw pag ayaw ilimit imong self nga mo learn og something new. Kay at your age, you have a lot of opportunities to learn more, to learn new things, to build your future, to build your career, and to accept uh, the mistakes nga pwede niyo mabuhat. Always remember, nobody is perfect. Mga sayop man gid tang tanan. Once masayop, okay. Pero twice or thrice, magdili na ginaingon nga choice na gina ninyo nga naing anak mo nga ni santop mo sa ing anak nga mga butang. So better to weigh first, know the disadvantages, know the advantages, seek help to those people who know better about that kind of problem. Communicate with your family, talk with your family. That's the most important thing. Before I end my slide, I'll give you I'll leave you with this quote. According to Elizabeth Warren, a good education is a foundation for a better future. Okay rag na dagma, okay rag na mo santop ta, but will not make this normal hang okay ra day maburos no. As much as possible, avoid this kind of problems kay mo ni makahinder nga mo ni makahinder nga maunsa mi ang atong good education. So if ever napalpak ta, nadagma ta, you still have the opportunities to stand and move forward to look for your better future. Once again, thank you and good morning.
Thank you, Ms. Panares, for a very comprehensive and enlightening presentation. Now, if anyone has a question, I'm sure our resource speaker would be pleased to answer them. So just write your question in the chat box. Waiting for your questions. Anyone? If there's no many questions, ma'am, pwede ko or non-Christian. Wow. So you really understand our the
Ay,
social
ako stop sharing eh.
Manila. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Ma'am, Ma'am Vanessa.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Okay, I've seen question.
i-host.
Okay. Come again, ma'am?
Pwede po mo i-host this area.
Ala, asa pagali na padulong. Sorry. Ah, papagali na ako makita, ma'am? For a while. Okay. Okay na, ma'am. Okay, na ko yung nakita nga question. What if tungod sa kahadlok, ma'am, ma-abort niya ang bata? Unsay angay i-advise sa iya? Okay. Just what I have said a while ago, seek for those people nga angayan ninyong istoryahan, which is kung you're very comfortable to talk with your guidance counselor or to talk with your closest friend, but again, dili maayo ang option nga magpa-abort. Remember, a baby is a blessing. So kung naana na siya, just what I have said a while ago, wala tay katungod nga mukutlo og kinabuhi sa katao. Accept sa kana and always remember, baby is not a mistake. Dili sayo ang usa ka bata. They are blessings. And maybe kung moabot magana sa point nga nahitabo na yung ana, mo na time nga itama na nimo imong kaugalingon. In that case, nga para dili na mo balhin sa imong anak. So, kung unsay nahitabo sa imo, make sure nga dili pud mo abot sa point na may ana sa imong anak. So again, there's no option there, dili kaayod yun option ang magpa-abort, and kanang hadlok, normal lang mahadlok, normal ra gyud nang mahadlok. Pero it is still very important to say to the parents, to the closest people, or to the important people nga imong nasaligan. Kay wala tay mapala kung magpaano ta sa atong kahadlok. Okay? Another is, what is the impact of teenage pregnancy in our society? It has a big impact of the teenage pregnancy in our society nowadays. Again, ang future sa kagalingon, sa mama, sa papa, diba? Ang responsibility nga bisayo pa kaayo nahatag na sa ila without proper kanang knowledge kung unsaon pag-raise og sa kabata or sa katao. Munay 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 usa sa mga impact. Yan nay maunsa mi nga education, must up siya sa iyang pag-eskwela. So kung iunahon sa niya nga i-raise ang iyang child, mangita sa og trabaho, unya ang trabaho, expect ha nga ang trabaho nga makita or makuha is medyo dili siya ingon nga higher compensation to what you have expected kay wala man kakahuman og eskwela. So man ay impacts ang poverty mag-anam og kuan kataas ang rate. And we also have another question. Agree ba ang simbahan or other religious law nga maggamit og contraceptive or still debated pa ba? It's agreeable already. It's still, that's very important. Oo, kabalo sila ana. Another is, kailangan bang ipairal ang sex education sa kabataan karon? Yes. With the proper giving of information. Ano na siya? We have also, mas acceptable imo gi-abort or imo giluwal pero imo ra gipasagdan. Okay. Both dili siya acceptable. Kung bukso naon. Technically speaking, dili siya acceptable. Kay wala man siya, wala, you're very irresponsible of that. Pero siguro kung imo rang gipasagdan, lucky to the baby na naay mo sagop. Pero imo gyud ang responsibility. It's still your guilt na ang naa sa imo at the end of the day. Magguilty gyapon ka nganong imong gibuhat, nganong it's either imong gi-abort or imong gipasagdan, imong gihatag sa laing tao. But with your question, technically wala, dili kay siya ingon nga dili gyud siya ingon acceptable, but if I'm going to decide, I would rather choose dili siya the term na pasagdan, pero siguro ihatag nato sa laing tao nga angayan or mas capable pa mo take care sa bata. Another question, nakaapekto ba ang teenage pregnancy ang panlantaw sa usa ka nakaapekto ba ang teenage pregnancy ang panglantaw sa usa ka tao? Maybe yes, maybe no. Because there are people who are very open-minded. And there are people also who kanang makitid ang utak. And dili nato na hold ang ilang decisions, dili nato na hold ang ilang opinions. And also we are not entitled also to explain it explain ourselves to the others nganong naingana ka. So be it kung naingana, but still you still have the right or the time to correct yourself. Yung nga isakto ang tama. Diba? Ang panlantaw sa usa ka tao, given na siya whether right, good or bad, normal, it's a nature of a people or nature sa usa ka tao nga mo criticize gyud sa ubang tao. Mo na i-ready, mo na yung iampo nga, Lord, please i-ready sa kung unsay pwede mahitabo umaabot nga makayan ako ang mga criticisms, because that's normal rin siya. It's the matter of how you handle it, how you accept it, and how you conquer it. So I hope I've answered all your questions, and I hope I satisfied you with my answers also. Any other questions?
Wala na yung question. So wala na dyan, no? Kasi na ako yung mga question. Ma'am Panares, we really appreciate ma'am having you as our speaker today.
Thank
Please
you.
accept our warmest thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you so much.
I would like to read this certificate of appreciation. Merchant Marine Academy of Caraga Incorporated, North Manila Boulevard, Barangay View, Butuan City, A600, certificate of appreciation to Vanessa Panares R. In grateful recognition and appreciation for her valuable efforts as the resource speaker in the webinar Teenage Pregnancy Prevention and Awareness at Merchant Marine Academy of Caraga on March 19, 2021, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. via Zoom online. Thank you so much, ma'am, for gracing our webinar today.
Hey, thank you so much. I'd like to say thank you to Sir Hill and to the administration of the Merchant Marine Academy of Caraga Incorporated, to the administration of the school. Thank you so much for inviting me to share it with you. It's my privilege to share it with you also. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I also thank you very much for your active participation in this session. Stay still for the afternoon session and take your lunch. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
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 Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you, ma'am.